Hey guys, Sean here with Vulcan Performance. Today we are talking about shin splints. These are essential tips that every runner should know to help them prevent shin splints and also take care of them if you're dealing with them. Let's dive in. So if you're a runner, you have probably dealt with shin splints in some form of capacity. Shin splints really can come in two shapes and sizes. You can have anterior shin splints and you can have posterior shin splints. So anterior shin splints are when you feel them on the front of your shin. It's that kind of common place. Whenever you lift your toes up, you feel that aching, really burning type pain. Then you also have them on the posterior side of the leg, and they both come in different forms of fashion. Depending on how you toe strike, depending on how your anatomy is, you may have a different form of a shin splint. And really the most dependent thing on all of this is, we talk about this in the article that I'll link to, is the 10% rule. So in all of rehab and all of injury, this is the gold standard of rules. If you break the 10% rule, your odds of injury go up about 72%. So we want to try to keep our intensity, keep our volume progressing at a weekly rate of less than 10%. Any jumps that are greater than 10%, your odds of injury go way up. And with shin splints, if we can stay under that injury threshold, then we can pretty much take care of these shin splints and really stay away from any type of lower extremity issue. So aside from all that, what is a shin splint? A shin splint really is when we work out, when we do anything, we're breaking the tissue down. When we do a contraction that is a concentric, or even more than that, a plyometric contraction. A plyometric is a dynamic contraction. You can think about jumping. It's a lot of abuse on the muscle. Doesn't mean it's bad for the muscle. The muscle can regrow, it can regrow stronger than what it was. It could be a good thing. But when we're talking about running, especially if we're heel foot striking, whenever we heel foot, our shins, our anterior tibialis, which is the muscle we're talking about when we're talking about shin splints, it's having to respond plyometrically. Its plyometric action is avoiding letting your foot slap the ground. It's trying to let it come down gently if you're heel striking. This is why we advocate for a forefoot strike, because you're removing that plyometric effect from the shins. The reason why this is more abusive than, say, jumping is, or a box jump, things of that nature, is because in the course of a mile, 2 miles, 10 miles, you are taking thousands of steps whenever you're running. So the shins are having to plyometrically react to several thousand steps. That's going to become more abusive on the legs and on the body than 20 or 30 box jumps or a few max vert jumps are going to be. So it's just really abusive over and over and over done again. This is known as a chronic injury. Shin splints, you don't take one step and get a shin splint. This is a chronic issue that comes up over time, has a lot to do with the 10% rule, your running form, all the above. I will link to the article that we have written on shin splints. Dr. Christian Peters wrote it, and he has put a bunch of exercises in there that can help you if you're dealing with shin splints, and also can strengthen the lower body to help you avoid these in the future. But again, the number one thing is the 10% rule. Don't violate the 10% rule. If you're not sure what that is, we have the Vulcan running templates. We have a 5K and a 10K template. We take into account the 10% rule. We also take into account something called the acute chronic workload ratio. We talk about it in the article. Basically, this ratio is you need to train at a certain intensity and a certain volume to make sure that you're progressing but not flirting with injury. In our templates, we have worked that ratio in, so you'll know I'm not training enough, I'm not getting any better, I'm training just right, I'm gonna get better, or I'm training too much and I'm probably gonna get injured. So we work all that in. Hopefully this helps you with anything going on with shin splints. Again, shin splints can be a big problem for runners, but if you train right, you can avoid them. So here are your tips. These are the essentials that you need to know as a runner. Guys, if you have liked some of our videos, please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications to get more tips on this. We're trying to keep you healthy and keep you moving. All right, see you later.